Have you ever wondered how to turn simple activities into an opportunity for learning? Helping somebody correct the way that they see themselves, the world, the future, the experiences that they're having? If you've had that question, you've come to the right place today. Today on Clinical Bites, we're going to talk about how to use simple activities and turn them into an opportunity for cognitive restructuring. So welcome to Dr. Brinen's Clinical Bites. Hi, I'm Dr. Brinen. I'm a psychologist and I'm a co-creator of recovery-oriented cognitive therapy. And on this channel, I like to give simple, quick, clinical bites to clinicians who are working really hard to serve the individuals who are so important to us. But I want to keep it on your schedule. So if that sounds good for you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. And also, make sure you share it with a friend of yours who's a busy clinician as well. If you're an individual or a family member, don't skip over this video. It gives you a chance to understand what we're doing. Because if there's one thing about cognitive behavioral therapy, we're transparent about what we're doing. So today, we're going to learn how to take activities and turn them into learning, what we can call a behavioral experiment. Have you ever had a session where you felt like you connected with the individual, but at the end of it, you sort of struggle to figure out, how do I turn that into new learning? At the beginning of recovery-oriented cognitive therapy, we're oftentimes engaging in something called activation. It's skipping past all of that therapy talk and jumping right in and doing something with somebody. It might be listening to music, it might be going for a walk, it might be sharing a cup of coffee together. And while some people go that that's just engagement or rapport building, we want to use that potent experience as an opportunity for learning. So in CTR, it's always going to be a behavioral experiment. Whether it's a formal experiment that we do later on or an initial experiment based off of the activities that we've done, we always want to think about what is the individual learning from the experiences that we're having. In supervision, so many providers ask me, how do you take a simple walk with an individual and turn that into an opportunity for learning? So I want to break that down to you in 5 simple steps. Step 1, you want to have an idea of what are the cognitions that are driving the individual's problems. They might be problems with motivation. They may be problems with anticipating pleasure. They may be problems with believing that you have to conserve your energy. Whatever those problems are, you want to identify the exact belief that individual is holding on to. Once you do that, you want to get an anchor about what you're measuring. It might be motivation, it might be energy, it may be voices, it may be worry. Whatever you're measuring with that individual, get an anchor. It doesn't need to be super fancy. You don't need to have them rated on a scale. You may ask, how much energy do you have right now? If the individual says none, you don't have to get much more specific, but you can if you guys are used to it. How much energy do you have today? 0 to 10. A 2? That stinks. I'm sorry. And so the next step is pretty straightforward. At that point, you're just going to jump into the activity. Hey man, my legs are killing me today. Let's walk. And then just start walking out the door. The individual will likely walk behind you. And you want to engage in it. At that point, you're not trying to do a Trojan horse to slip psychotherapy techniques in while you're walking. You want to engage in a nice, simple, straightforward walk. Talk about things, look around, enjoy yourselves. Step 4, re-rate the thing that you're tracking. Man, I enjoyed that walk. How about you? What's going on with your energy right now? Oh, you're feeling a little bit more energetic. On a scale of 0 to 10, how much? That's weird. One small note, don't give the person the number back again. Humans have the nature to anchor ourselves at our first answer. So if I say your energy was a 2 before, what is it now? They might say it's about the same. So I'm going to ask, what's your energy at the beginning? Then I'm going to ask, what's your energy at the end? After that, we're going to compare the 2 numbers. If the energy went up, that's an interesting observation. If the energy stays the same, you might point out the fact that we went for this really long walk and your energy stayed the same. You must be producing energy. You may also ask, was it worth doing? Was it enjoyable? Once you draw that conclusion, you're on to the 5th step. And that 5th step is, can we test this out again? When else could you go for a walk? Do you ever go for a walk with your mom? If it felt good here, I wonder if it'll feel good at home. I don't know, maybe right, might not be right. Why don't we test it out? Again, we're not going to buckle in that this is the new way of life for the person. We're not going to say this is the new learning. We're going to steal a really small change. So maybe when we do things, our energy gets a little bit better. That's weird. We should check that out. Wow, when we go for a walk, we don't have as much time to worry. That's weird. We should check that out. Oh man, we talked the whole time and the voices didn't bother you at all? That's weird. We should check that out too. Choose one of those things, highlight it for the individual, and then encourage them to learn it again. Cognitive behavioral therapy has never been about a one and done. We correct the way that we see the world through successive experiences. So we'll have a walk in this session, draw the conclusion. A walk in the next session, draw that conclusion. After a number of these, we're going to start drawing bigger conclusions. We may even start testing this out a little bit more formally. But those are the steps for taking a simple walk. You could do the same thing with music. You could do the same thing with a cup of coffee and turning it from a simple activity into a learning opportunity. We want to identify the cognition. We want to get a rating of the symptom that we're monitoring. We want to do the activity. Then we want to re-rate it and draw a conclusion. And then we want to plan on doing it other times. And hey, if you're running a group, like a rec therapy group where you might go bowling or doing art together, you can use this same principle with everybody involved. Every opportunity when we serve an individual is an opportunity for learning a new thing about themselves, others, the world, the experiences that they're having. So we never need to leave anything on the table. We can always learn. Further, if you notice, I'm not real formal. I'm not trying to make this stodgy. It's just a nice conversation like I might have with a friend of mine. I hope this gave you an idea of how you can include more learning in every interaction you have with an individual. Because remember, the one thing the individuals take with them when they leave our therapy is the learning we help facilitate. So it's so crucial that we help them draw those conclusions. If this was helpful to you, please like, subscribe, comment on this video. Let me know one time that you used learning with an individual you were serving. And if you want more ideas of the cognitions that get in people's ways and ways to deal with it, check out my book, Living Well with Psychosis. It's written directly to individuals with psychosis, but it also gives clinicians a way of talking to the individuals in a way that puts them as the captains of their own ship. If you want more clinical bites, check out this playlist right here. And until the next clinical bite, be well.